Smackdown 112-24, 15 nights away from the Royal Rumble. Before we go over tonight's show, well wishes and positive vibes over to Austin Theory and Carmelo Hayes, two dudes involved in a nasty finish on tonight's show. For those that don't know, Austin Theory versus NXT's Carmelo Hayes hit the airwaves tonight, and the finish could have been absolutely tragic. As it stands, it looked like both were still moving. That's the good news. It almost looked like a Spanish fly of some sort from the second rope. Carmelo Hayes performing this to Theory. Theory didn't just land on his head, he landed on his neck. And somehow simultaneously landed on Carmelo Hayes as well. Hayes looked like he was about to keep rocking. Theory looked immediately shooken up. To the referee's credit, he was in between them instantly and simultaneously throwing up the X and calling this match off. Now, for those that don't know, this is a new protocol in WWE within the last month, where the referee at any point doesn't even have to check with Paul Levesque McMahon or anybody backstage in Gorilla. If he sees something he doesn't like, he will call the match off. And along those same lines, Levesque McMahon can do the same thing. If he sees something that he thinks could be an injury or is just not good, he will tell the ref to call it off. That's something brand new this month. It is a play on the National Football League's new rule. For those that don't watch the NFL, a new rule at the top of the season where if a player believes he is still good to play, and even the athletic trainer from the sideline approves that he can keep playing, the eye in the sky, there's now team doctors in the boxes up high and NFL officials and doctors. If they deem that player should be taken out, they can override the player and the athletic trainer on the sideline. We have seen many times this season in the NFL, games have been stopped from the eye in the sky, and players have literally been yanked from the field. It is wild when it happens. I've seen it myself 4 times while the game was live. So even if the athletic trainer is saying, no, all right, because the players in years past obviously sway the athletic trainer's decision, right? Even for concussions, which they are 99% better with today than they were 10 years ago, easily. But players have a way to persuade the athletic trainers to go back to the sideline. I'm okay. Now, there's many more people up high in those boxes, and they're going, nope, that looked rough. You're coming out. We're checking you out more. So anyway, guys, WWE does a lot of what the NFL does all the time, especially when it comes to safety. Once that rule was implemented, WWE started toying with their new rule, and here it is. You just saw it firsthand tonight, where they just called this off instantly. And again, it looked like Theory was still moving, but the referee was automatically between them and calling this match off. So they are going to prevent any injury. Guys, it's happened in the past. I remember one instance not long ago, maybe a few years ago, but this wrestler was tossed to the outside, ended up breaking his neck, I believe, got back in the ring thinking he could at least finish the match. It was like a 619 finish. The ropes itself shook this individual's neck, and it just was the final tipping point, and the neck broke. And I honestly don't believe that individual unfortunately finished the match or walked out. That was it, unfortunately. And you hear about these type of things all the time, but I vividly remember that story. It's one of those things, guys, where, Theory could have gotten up thinking he's all right, had a partial break in the neck, one more move, could have done it. So I do think it's a great new rule to have. And to be honest, it could have saved a lot of lives beforehand if other companies were following suit, but you just never know. If it's up to the wrestlers, they want to just keep going. It's so hard to detect what's going on, so I guess this is the best option. We're going to decide for you. If you land on your neck, the match is over. I think that's a good compromise, right, guys? You don't want everyone to be soft. You want these individuals to be able to finish their own match. It's not ballet. These things are going to happen. I get it. But I think we can all compromise. If you land on your neck, the match is over. You shouldn't even be doing stupid things to get in that position. And that's why when this first happened tonight, I truly thought this was just a planned finish, a stupid one. But I thought they were just trying to protect both individuals. They want to protect Austin Theory because he loses all the time and nobody cares about him reaction-wise, right? There's no connection with the crowd. So we're going to try to protect Theory. And obviously Carmelo just got called up from NXT, so we want to protect Melo. So we'll just do this finish where both got knocked out and the referee is stopping the match. I truly thought that. But upon replay and seeing Theory land on his neck, I was like, nope, that was bad. That was really bad. So, it's one of those things, man. We were just talking over the last couple of days about like the Ultimate Warrior, right? How like he didn't even have to step through the curtain. His music would play. And you knew it didn't matter if his match was only 2 minutes. It didn't matter if you couldn't understand his promos. It didn't matter if he was an asshole in real life. You knew that you just out of body experience. You were on your feet, hooting and hollering, cheering to the highest of levels when the Ultimate Warrior's music hit. The charisma in this guy, the passion, the amplification, the personality. This guy was a freak of nature. All right, today, you see a lot less charisma in these wrestlers. You see a lot less personality. You see a lot less amplification, a lot less passion, or at least outwardly. Not saying they're not passionate, but you're just not seeing it. And so in order to try to get a "this is awesome" chant, or try to pop a good baby, a 6-star match, maybe somebody will give you a few extra imaginary stars in their rating system, in order to get people to talk positively on the social doohickey machines, right? We're going to just do a bunch of wild flips and dives and just wild maneuvers. And we hope that is enough to equal out the lack of charisma, the lack of personality, the lack of connection to the crowd. We're just going to do a bunch of moves that are wild. And more individuals are just getting injured left and right by doing the stupidest shit. Nowadays, you see matches where, no lie, we went over this statistically. This was a real thing, man. We did the research on it. There was matches that literally in 1 week, multiple matches had, between two individuals, multiple matches had those individuals dropped on their head over a dozen times. Dropped on their head in one match over a dozen times. Multiple matches in a week. We did this study over a couple of the major promotions, which we will not name, obviously WWE being one of them. But that's not good. When you're wrestling and you feel like you need to land on your head a dozen times in one match, you're probably not wrestling correctly. You're probably wrestling wrong. BC has been in that ring. I have friends right now as I speak traveling the world, busting their asses and breaking their bones. Unfortunately. Sometimes it's part of the business. It's an accident, freak accident. It's not ballet. Other times, and it's exactly what I will tell my boys, you were stupid, and that's exactly the prize that you're going to win. I know, BC. I know, man. No, you don't, because you keep doing it. Too many wrestlers are relying on this new style just to get a wow from the crowd. And the sad truth is, most of that crowd will never go back and watch the matches again. Right? It was good for that moment. Instant gratification. You put your lives on the line 87 times in one match. Great. Next, we already forgot about it. Because now we're on to the next two dudes that are going to try to do the same thing. They may get dropped on their dome piece 27 times in one match. There was no reason for that move, especially Austin Theory conducting that move. Carmelo can hit it, I get it. Theory looked off from the jump. Did you guys see earlier in the match when he basically was supposed, I believe it was like a DDT on the apron, something like that, and instead he face planted into the apron and we went to commercial break. I don't know what happened with Theory there, but even if it was a botch, you still wouldn't go face first into the canvas. It looked like the dude was off, and maybe that's where he got a little bit of a concussion. I'm being serious. Go back to earlier in the match, guys, when he landed face first into the canvas. Something was not right with that, and maybe he was just not the same afterwards. Anyway, there is a lot of frustration because I'm seeing these type of injuries too often. And it's preventable. Again, we all know it ain't ballet. We get it. But you don't got to do all this. This is not fun for a lot of us, man. You know, you can do clotheslines, body slams, big boots. You can throw in some super kicks. And we will be absolutely captivated. All you have to do is have a character we care about. If not larger than life, at least next level. But provide an interesting, intriguing persona so that we can care. And if you do that, all you got to throw is some right hands, a big boot, and a leg drop. And Hulkamania will be running wild. Or maybe just a press slam and a shoulder press slam. Maybe just drive the shoulder into your opponent's chest and call it a match. The fans will all go home happy, like the Ultimate Warrior. You can do a choke slam and a tombstone, like The Undertaker, and have the crowd in the palm of your hand. Drop a rock bottom and a people's elbow. They'll remember it for a lifetime. Do a Lou Thez press and then a Stone Cold Stunner. Maybe stomp a mud hole. They'll go back and watch it 100 times. The difference with Hulk Hogan and Warrior and Taker and Rock and Stone Cold and so many others, they didn't have to put their careers and lives on the line left and right, time after time, just to wow you. I feel bad for these individuals. Work on your characters. If you're ever thinking about becoming a pro wrestler, take that advice. Stop going to the backyard and doing all these flips on your trampoline. Work on your character, your personality, whatever charisma you have. Find a way to amplify it. Turn that volume up to 10 and get amplified. But we can preach till everybody's blue in the face. It won't matter. That's 2024. Every wrestler is like a box on the assembly line of Amazon's distribution center. And coming off that assembly line is another brown box. And coming out of that brown box is another wrestler. 5'10", 5'11". He's got the black trunks. He can do the moonsault, the suicide dive, the Canadian Destroyer from the top rope onto a flaming table maybe. Who knows? The 640, 890, 552 somersault splash. He'll land on his head 67 times, but he'll get back up most of the time. But it only takes that one time where he doesn't. Anyway, it's not even a cold open, but the beginning of this review was not supposed to take that long, but it's late. I had a lot to say on the subject. I said, you know what? Nobody else is going to have the discussions that need to be had. This is the channel to do such, so that's what we're doing. Again, we wish them both the very best. We'll find out more. Again, I thought that was all a work at first until I saw that replay and I was like, man. Because even if it was a work, that would have just been a bad finish. To do an injury angle like that when wrestlers are actually getting screwed up from moves like that. But no, upon replay, nope, that's just another statistic. Another match ended due to trying to wow the audience in the middle of a Smackdown for a Carmelo Theory match. I miss the days, man. Just give me Wrestler A and Wrestler B with larger-than-life personalities, charisma, make us care, and I will watch them punch each other, throw some boots, some mud hole stomping, some body slams, maybe a power bomb. I'm good. Man, it's all different. Anyway, guys, this show, we are now 15 nights away from the Royal Rumble. This show was based around no Roman Reigns, so there's not much you can do. So we're going to take all the faces, AJ, kind of a weird face right now, not even a tweener, but I don't know, AJ, Randy Orton, LA Knight. And we're going to throw them against whoever we have of the Bloodline, Solo and Jimmy, that's it. And we'll just that's what we're going to do. And we'll just have a handicap match. That was the basis of the night. Because all the side stories for Rumble, I mean, they are just, there's no effort being put into it. So what am I talking about? Let's start from the jump. Bloodline is in the middle of the ring with Nick Aldis. And Aldis is being run down by Paul Heyman verbally. So Aldis responds by making a 6-man tag main event. Orton, Knight, Styles versus Jimmy, Solo, and Roman. So Heyman is pissed off. You know damn well Roman's not here in Nebraska of all places. So Aldis says, all right, then your option is to find a third person or it's a handicap match. I was really hoping Aldis said, or it's you in this match, Paul Heyman. If you promoted that would be fun. I don't even need this mystery guy or a handicap match. If you tell me Paul Heyman is about to wrestle, or at least the illusion, right? He's out there, maybe with a suit jacket off, or maybe he actually tried to put on like some jogging pants and a windbreaker, like a workout windbreaker. Come on, that's funny. I remember back in the day, Bobby the Brain Heenan having to get into wrestling matches at times. And it was just great. You know, the managers have to get in there. It was such a cool thing. But it has to be the right manager. Paul Heyman, he's the right guy. Unfortunately, they missed the golden opportunity. He doesn't even have to get in the ring, guys. But the illusion of it, him on the outside in a tracksuit or something, that's just funny. Instead, they didn't go that route. They just ended up with a handicap match. And throughout the night, Paul Heyman's trying to get a third guy. You know, he's offering Carlito an apple. He's trying to get Pretty Deadly. But just promote Paul Heyman. Boom. Hook, line, sinker. We are in. Most of us, that's pretty fun. So that was the beginning of the night. So at least they set up a little bit of a mystery, right? Who is Paul Heyman going to get for a third individual? The first match of the night was Angel and Humberto. Now that's literally what they're going by. Not Angel Garza, not Humberto Carmelo. No, it is now Angel and Humberto, period. They're out there with Santos Escobar in their corner. They're taking on Del Toro and Wild with Zelina Vega in their corner. Now, Carlito would end up attacking Escobar at ringside. Angel would pin Wild via like a fruit roll-up, kind of like a hold-him-down pin. And he was holding the rope for leverage. I don't know where the referee was for this. Now, I know it was... I don't know. I know that the distraction with Carlito beating down Escobar is supposed to kind of take the ref out of position, but they were basically out of the arena at that point. Focus back on the match. I mean, Angel pretty much had his whole arm on the rope. I don't know. Big victory, I guess, for Angel and Humberto. In a backstage pre-record, Logan Paul calls Kevin Owens. You guys ready for this? Now, this is for their big U.S. title match at the Rumble. Owens versus Logan Paul. And this is how they're setting that. This is how they're trying to get you interested in this. Backstage pre-record, Logan Paul calls Kevin Owens, and I quote, "a little cheater pumpkin eater." That you heard that correct, but I'll repeat it if you want. Logan Paul looks right in the camera, and he's upset because KO used the cast last week. And so he's going, I'll be ready for you when we fight, but are you going to be ready for me? Huh, Kevin? You cheater, pumpkin eater? Or you little, he's a little cheater. You little cheater, pumpkin eater. I don't know how you're not into this match for the Rumble. I still am. You know, the Rumble is a stacked card already. You got the 2 Rumble matches, the Fatal 4-Way. You know, anything else at this point is an added bonus. You got Logan Paul and KO. I truly think it's going to be a really good match. I just wish the build was better. You know, they do this whole stupid tournament, And I say stupid because it wasn't even for a title. It was the number one contendership to the mid-card US title. You made a tournament for that? So instead of really building a Kevin Owens, Logan Paul storyline, like really good, like a story that is just every week, it just keeps adding in suspense. Instead, we did a multi-week tournament where Logan Paul is just on commentary during Kevin Owens' matches and kind of throwing these little childish jabs. You know, and here we are just 2 weeks before Rumble, and Kevin Owens is being called a little cheater, pumpkin eater. All right. I'm looking forward to the match. I should be looking forward to it a lot more than I am. That's the problem. It just could have been a lot better. It should have been. Still looking forward to it, though. But maybe watch what Logan Paul is doing in these backstage, what he is saying in these backstage pre-records. Also, backstage, or at least a pre-record at maybe a coffee shop or somewhere. I don't know. It was some place that serves coffee because Tyler Bate and Butch, their new tag team, it doesn't have a name. BC calls them the Micro Machines. And I call them Micro Machines because, well, they're tiny humans, right? But don't get it twisted. They are still machines. So they're tiny humans, but they're still machines. I think Micro Machines is the perfect tag name for them. So Butch and Tyler Bate, they're at like a coffee shop or someplace, I don't know, but there's a lot of coffee around. And they're talking like men over coffee, right? I mean, if you're going to talk with the boys, you better have that hot beverage, that coffee, or a cold beverage, maybe a cold coffee or something else. You know where I'm going with that. But you have a beverage while you're talking with the boys. And so for 3 reasons, I really liked this pre-record with Tyler Bate and Butch. That is the first reason. They're talking over a hot beverage, a hot coffee. That's the way to do it. Number 2, you got to hear them talk in this segment, right? You got to hear them talk. You got to see their personality, witness their chemistry outside of the ring, right? I mean, listening to Butch talk and not just run around like a pit bull on uppers, right? I mean, what is that character? I don't understand what that even is. Is his character literally like a dog? To hear Butch speak, man, and Tyler Bate's funny too. I mean, their chemistry is really good. And Butch has a presence when he speaks. It's like, where was that, man? So, number 1, they're shooting the shit over some coffee. Number 2, they're speaking. You're getting to see a side of them that we normally wouldn't see, right? They're talking. You're getting to see some of their personality. What a concept. And the third reason I really like this is they teased the name switch from Butch to Pete Dunne, which if you're truly done with the Brawling Brutes, which is what Butch said in this segment, that's done. If the Brawling Brutes is truly done, then this has to be done. And Petey Dunne needs to return. I mean, that name change is huge now if you're going to put him with Tyler Bate. So that's the third reason, man. They teased the Pete Dunne return, or at least the name. So now, I mean, we see more of their personality. You get to see their charisma shine. We know they're good in the ring. This is a really good start. A total 180 from last week. Now, the Micro Machines are off and running. I really like this. This was just a 2-minute spot at like a coffee shop, and we are ready to rock. Hour one ends and hour 2 begins with Bayley versus Bianca Belair. If you think you've seen this match 812 times, it's because you have. That's just laziness in the booking. They're just like, throw them out there. So, no harm, no foul. It's just, when that match was announced last week, a lot of us just go, oh, what? Because we like Bianca. Most of us. I love Bianca Belair and Bayley. But this match, it didn't really do much for most of us. We already know what they do together. We already pretty much by this point know their sequences. So, Belair ends up pinning Bayley via pinfall off a spear KOD combo. Bayley was not thrilled with Dakota, Io, Kairi, or Asuka. And that's because while playing possum in the middle of the ring, faking a knee injury, it was the perfect opportunity for Damage Control to put a beating on Belair on the outside. But no member of Damage Control even budged. None of them made a move. And moments later, you saw the spear in the KOD and Bayley was pinned. And by the way, that's while afterwards, when they didn't make a move, once the spear was conducted on Bayley, Belair started taunting Damage Control, poking at him. And they still didn't budge. And then Bayley was pinned. If you're Bayley, you're probably thinking, my friends suck. I don't know. I believe WWE wants to somehow get to Bayley against Damage Control for Mania in some way or facet. I just don't believe WWE knows how to get there. And that's why you're seeing this kind of drawn out with no real substance. The tiniest of tension being teased every week, but just like under bare minimum. At some point, we got to pick up the pace of substance, right? We could do the long-term storytelling. I mean, you could have the payoff a few weeks before Mania if you choose to do such. That's fine. But more substance, man. It just looks like Damage Control is confused out there. I don't want them to look like a collective a bunch of idiots. These are some of the best wrestlers in the world in that group. You're talking about girls like Io and Asuka. I don't know. It's weird right now. I don't know why. I don't think WWE knows how to get to Bayley and Damage Control. We'll see. If Sasha Banks wants to come back soon, well, then you have a million ways you could do it. Anyway, we go into Lashley and the Profits calling out Karrion Kross and his new stable we believe to be Final Testament. We had some Bray Wyatt type video package, vignette type wild tree. That's right, made that word up, wild tree, up on the Tron. I loved it. I always love that with Bray Wyatt. Karrion's always had those type of bells and whistles, they called it, in the Adam Cole Karrion Kross feud from NXT. But I love things like that. It was fun. It was intriguing. There was a lot of detail in it. You had to listen to all these messages all in one presentation. It was really good. And when it was all said and done, the Profits and Lashley are in the ring like, what the what? It's like, exactly. Karrion Kross and his group trying to go the route of the mind games, so it just brings me back to a little bit of Bray Wyatt. I mean, obviously two different spectrums completely, but just those type of things you'd see up on the Tron. So I like that. And again, I'm definitely giving this group a chance because big supporter of Karrion Kross. Always loved Paul Ellering. Scarlett Bordeaux is epic A, and with Karrion, it's just the perfect combo. So I'm backing them, man. I didn't mind this at all. I like the fact that the Profits and Lashley just came to the ring, no freaking ties with their dress shirts. In fact, the top couple buttons unbuttoned, just ready to fight, not slapping hands with the fans. Just with an attitude, man, ready to just fight. No smiling. I like that. I really do. So if you are going to turn them full-fledged face out of nowhere, which it looks like they're going to be baby faces, and they're feuding with these legit heels in Karrion Kross's new group, well, if you're going to do that, at least make them badass. Badass baby faces. It's a thing. Austin Theory versus Carmelo Hayes. This ends in referee stoppage. I just don't... some of the things these wrestlers do today, it boggles me. And I say this all the time on the channel. It's not just when somebody gets hurt and then we just, we pile on. Oh, you should have never done that. No, we're always on this channel calling out the stupidity of some of the things being done. It's not needed. Calm it down, man. MJF said it best many moons ago on alternative entertainment wrestling television. He said, I don't have to put my career or life on the line to entertain you. I just make you feel. That's what we always used to get back in the day. It doesn't matter if it's a Roddy Piper or a freaking Big Boss Man. I just wish these wrestlers knew you're good enough, or hopefully you are, with your presentation, your charisma, your personality, your mannerisms. Trust yourself, believe in yourself, that you don't have to do these things. At least not all the time. If you want to do them, all right. Certain matches, certain moments and situations, maybe we'll call for it. A good pay-per-view match, maybe, right? Or a big televised match, main event, maybe, who knows? But this has just become part of their arsenal. Every single match you're seeing this type of work. I don't get it. And I understand it's because a lot of them know they lack charisma and the personality and all that. Well, tough shit. Find it within you. Or maybe you were just born to be a gymnast. There's nothing wrong with that. You can collect gold medals. But a professional wrestler is more than just flipping and diving all over the ring and landing on your head 12 times. Stop. Seriously, stop. We wish Austin Theory the best, man. This dude was just getting dropped on his face and his head the whole match, though. So I don't know what was up with that dude. Maybe the first face plant knocked him out and he was never the same. I don't know. And maybe that's why the ref kind of knew it, was giving him a chance. And then on the second drop said, no, that's it. This dude's getting messed up. We wish him the best. We'll find out more, obviously, over the next coming days as well. Main event was Orton, LA Knight, and AJ Styles versus Solo Sikoa and Jimmy Uso. Orton pins Jimmy via the RKO. Post-match, the faces put the boots to the heels. The Bloodline looked like absolute idiots. Solo got a shield bomb through the announce table. The old school shield power bomb, guys. Remember when they would always freaking lift up whoever it is and put them through the commentary table? That's actually what they did to Solo. So it just brought BC back to the Shield days, man. And, of course, message sent to Roman, leader of the Shield. Some people are like, Seth was leading it, BC. Some people might say Mox was leading it, but the overall, when it was all said and done, general consensus was it was Roman's group. And Roman was the centerpiece of that power bomb, by the way. But it was just fitting that, that was for Paul Heyman to send the message to Roman, and it was the Shield power bomb. So the show ended with Paul Heyman with the phone, call Roman Reigns. Fade to black, show goes off the air. So this was a show, no harm, no foul. We're getting ready for the Rumble, and then it's really, the road to WrestleMania picks up speed, where the speed limit goes from 60 to about 160. So we're all excited for that. These shows lately, starting back from last Monday last Friday into Monday, and now tonight's show, they lacked a lot in many areas. It's almost like they're on cruise control. But again, it's no harm, no foul. It wasn't bad per se. But it leaves a lot more to be desired. And just 2 weeks away from Rumble, and Roman's not on these shows. You're bumping up your big U.S. title, mid-card. So your main champion isn't even on the show. Your mid-card champion is not on the show, not live. He did a pre-tape that was taped last week when he was there. And he's talking about a little cheater, pumpkin eater. You know what I mean? When your big Rumble matches don't feel it because there's no substance being put on tonight, that's the areas that we're lacking. That's where I wish we could have done some more cooler things. But when people aren't there, it's kind of hard. Logan's not there with his title. Roman's not there with his title. And we get little cheater, pumpkin eater lines. And again, the whole show was kind of tainted with the injury anyway, so we hope Austin Theory's okay. But that's what I got for you guys. It's late. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the review. Until next time, and there will be that next time. In fact, Sunday evening, after the Packers-Cowboys game, I don't know how the Packers would find a miracle to beat the Cowboys. It just doesn't seem likely at all. But win or lose, we will be reviewing that Packer game Sunday afternoon into the evening. Packers-Cowboys wild card playoff weekend. So Sunday evening, a big, and it could be the last Packer review of the season, should we lose, unfortunately. So look forward to that this weekend, man. Until next time, there will be that next time. Top guys, we are out. BC saying check you. Peace. Go long.